Welcome back to Tom's Garage again, boys and girls. Good morning. Ooh, kind of crispy out there this morning. That's why I'm wearing long pants. All right, today we're working on Pow Echo PE-200 Edger. Y'all, you see something kind of wrong with it? I think the first thing we're going to have to do is give it a good chiropractic adjustment. The head's spun that way, the handle's spun that way, missing his little other handle. I think I might have one on the shelf over here. Let's see, extra handle. Yeah, I got a couple of them. That was missing the hardware. Yeah, look at there. We'll give him a handle. We'll give him a handle. It had to be terrible using this thing without a handle. All right, first thing we're going to do, he brought it in for a fuel leak. These lines are kind of rotten. We're going to replace this fuel line grommet and all the fuel lines, fuel filter. That's what we're going to do. So, like I said, we got to get this thing straightened out. I don't know how in the world he was using this thing. I guess he was holding it kind of sideways. Straighten it out. All right. Two little screws right there. This thing ought to just spin around. Get it kind of eyeball it. Get it kind of straight with the head down there. That head may be twisted around a little bit too. I think it is. Needs to. We'll spin that around too. All right, we got the engine where we want it. Not too overly tight. These two little screws right there. That's what holds the engine stable. Now we'll move this handle here, grab the fillers. I mean, this is the way you buy stuff off the shelf these days. There's no customer service anymore. I remember when you was a kid, you and your dad would go to the hardware store and buy a new weed eater. The mechanic would take it back there and put fuel in it, show you how to use it, make sure it runs, and give it its pre-delivery. These days, man, you don't do that. You just grab something right off the shelf, and there's no quality control. All right, that handle's straight. I can't tell you how many times somebody brings me, oops, wrong screw. I didn't get that too tight, did I? I can't tell you how many times somebody brings me something like this, and Echo from Home Depot or Husqvarna from Lowe's, and they're just all twisted up and nothing's tight. It's a shame. Okay, got that straight. But to me, this head needs to spin. See this kind of angle? It needs to spin around. So let's do that. All right. Now everything is perfectly in line. Everything's nice and straight now. I bet it was killing his back to use this thing like it was. All right. Now let me grab my Torx 27. We'll put him this handle on there. I still hear them pecans falling. So we put one little nut right there. Get that started. One little nut right there. Give me a screwdriver and tap that in a little bit. Make sure that's tight. Make sure that's on there good. Yeah, it feels pretty comfortable right there. Yeah, he's gonna appreciate that. That's how you do it. All right, now we're gonna do what it came in for. Replace the fuel lines and fuel grommet and the fuel filter. Check his air filter too. Yeah, it looks pretty good. Nice and clean. Take and dump whatever fuel's in there out. Ugh. Why's he got that so tight? Yep, cheap aftermarket oil mixture. Yeah. All right, let me take a smaller screwdriver. And you have to be very extra careful with this. These little things coming out that the fuel line hooks to, you can break them so easy. Just be very careful, don't break these things. See, if you stick it in there like that and try to pry too much, it'll just break right off. And I have done it. I have done it. Can't really get the screwdriver in there to push it off. Push straight down. I'm gonna rip that fuel line off here. Yeah, see how rotten that was? Oof. Let's see, I'm gonna grab my razor blade. Gotta be very gentle. Very gentle, there we go. I don't know where it went, but it fell off. Close that before I cut myself with it. And just take a screwdriver and pry this grommet out. Get your fuel filter out of there. Okay, there we go. Let's go over here and find one. Find another one. Let's see, that one's too big. That one's too big. It's got to be one of them small ones. That's for a Husqvarna. May not have one. That's that one. No, that was too big too. You know, we may reuse this grommet. The grommet wasn't leaking, it was just the fuel lines that had started deteriorating. Yeah, we'll have to reuse the grommet. No, here's one. There's a new grommet. No, that was too big too. That's all right. We'll just reuse the grommet. What we'll do is use these lines and keep that grommet. I think it's the same size lines. Sure looks like it. Should be. All right. Boy, they may be glued in there. Nope. Felt like it was. Well, we don't need to take that out. We can use that. Okay. Well, yeah, we do, because we've got to put it in here. I'm replacing this one too. See, I got confused already. Too early in the morning to be so confused. Okay. That's the return line. This is going to be the, I need to cut that. No, it'll go in. Let's see, this will be the fuel filter line. It needs to be sticking out. Oop. Oh. Needs to be sticking out about that far. That's pretty good. We'll snip that off. Just like that. Let's go find him a new fuel filter. One of the good ones here. There we go. It's a good one. That's a good one. Everything's cold this morning. Should put some lube on there. Let's do that. A little spray of PB Blaster on there. And that's why I always drain the fuel tanks on these things. Look at all that water that was in his fuel tank. Water. So much better when you spray a little lube on there. It goes right on. Okay. Let me take a little puff of air and blow that fuel tank out. Make sure it's dry and ain't got no water in it. Okay. Yeah, that grommet looks pretty good. Okay. We'll see. The one on the right, closer to the engine, is the one that pulls the fuel. The one on the left is the one that returns it. So make sure you get this in there correctly. I need to pull that out just a little bit. Okay. Yeah, I'll pull that out just a little bit too. Okay. Squirt a little PB on there so it'll go in a little easier. Sometimes you earn your money trying to get these in there. Try not to damage it when you're prodding on it with a screwdriver. Sometimes getting these in there would be like baptizing a cat. Oh, I tell you, you earn it. This is always one of my least fun things to do, is squeeze this back in there. Now I got oil on it and I can't hang on to it. Just try not to hurt it. I think we're winning. Uh-oh. Can't let go of it now. All right, we're all the way in there. Now let me go over and answer that, because somebody might be wanting to give me some money. All right, I'm gonna reach down in there. I wanna pull this down a little further. I don't want the end of this vent submerged in the fuel though. So what I'm gonna do is pull this off and shorten it from up here. Get this handle out of the way. Uh-oh. This thing's locked up. All that work. We'll have to figure out what's going on there. Let's do that first. If I can get this off without hurting it. Sometimes these things, there it goes. Sometimes they'll stick to the spark plug and you'll pull the whole boot off of it. Let's find out what. That ain't good. Let me stick my camera down in there and look. Take a quick gander. Oh Lord, look at that cylinder. This thing has been submerged in water. Look at the rusty side of it. Well, this ain't no good. Good grief. Rusted completely shut. Oh well. Little red cardinal sitting there looking at me. What are you doing, little cardinal? Anywho, I'll tell you what we're gonna do. Pow, strike hold. This thing's junk anyway, we might as well do this. Spray some of this down in that cylinder. Put some on top of that piston. Yeah, let that soak in there real good around them rings. Woo! Let me get my camera back out. Make sure we got some good saturation in there. Oh yeah. Let that soak for a little while. I want to see the intake port. There's the exhaust port. We'll let that strike hold work on it. That's what we'll do, by golly. That's what we'll do. We ain't got a whole lot much else to do today. A little more. Put a little more in it. Let's take this cover off. So I'm eventually gonna pull that cylinder off that piston. That's what we can do today. We're gonna see if we can save it. We're gonna see if we can save it. Well, that is one stiff spark plug wire right there, boy. God, that thing is stiff. If I can get it through that little hole right there, we can get this cover completely off. Don't let it whoop you. There you go. Now we can see a little better. Now we can see it a little better. Grab my little screwdriver and unhook that throttle cable. That ought to just pull out. If it ain't too stiff. There it goes. Now we pull the carburetor and muffler off all as one piece. Let me get this coil out of the way, unplug the kill switch. Well, that thing's fighting me the whole way here. There we go. That should too be a 3 millimeter. Maybe I shouldn't use impact on that. Let me go over here and grab me some alien wrenches. Let's see, that was a 3 millimeter I said. 1, 2, 3, 4, the fourth one. Is it a 3 millimeter or is it a 4? There we go. That broken loose real good. Then we'll unscrew it with the impact. Oh yeah, there we go. Gentle. Be very gentle. I just had to order one of these coils yesterday for that SRM 225 over there. Could use that. But we need it for this. Because we're going to revive it. We're going to revive it, boy. That piston is not all the way down. Uh-oh. More money in the morning. Last thing, I'm going to take something and just push down on that piston a little bit. It's evidently all the way down there. It's really stuck. I can't just pull that cylinder off while that thing's still stuck. Well, the piston is all the way down, so I should be able to get the wrist pin out of it. No, I don't think you'll have room to do that. We'll just let it soak. We'll just let it soak in strike hold. Yeah, we'll just let it continue to soak. Because all you've got is two screws holding the cylinder to the engine block. Then you just, if we get it broke free, we can just pull it off, and then we're going to clean. Probably going to just take a Scotch-Brite to the piston and to the inside of the cylinder. See if we can get it clean, get it moving again, get it running. We're going to fix it. We're going to fix it today. We're going to fix it today. Let me turn this camera off. I'm going to let this thing cool off and let it charge. Let it soak. And we'll be right back. Y'all hang with. Alrighty. She's been soaking for about a half an hour. Still kind of locked up. What I'm going to do, though, very, very carefully. Very carefully. See if I can move the flywheel. Careful. You do not want to break that ring. You don't want to break a fin or a piston ring. What in the world is that noise? I don't know so much about that, boy. I'm gonna pull this starter off and make sure it's not hit. It's damaged. Yeah, look at the water. Yeah, this thing got soaked. You can see the screws are all rusty. You can see the rust all over the muffler. Yeah. Look at the nasty water that come out of that. Yeesh. Yeesh. Yeah, the pull starter's fine. I'm gonna squirt a little strike hold in it too, so that spring right there don't get rusty and break. Blow it out with the air hose. Oh yeah, that's some nastiness coming out of there, boy. That spring right there is soaking some striker hold. Take my channel locks and grab hold of that starter pawl and see if we can move it. Just a little bit. Hey, look at there. No, we didn't. All we did was loosen the starter pawl. Well, now the fuel tank's in the way. I ain't gonna get too hard on it. Now all we're doing is tightening that down. Boy, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get it or not. Spray a little more strike hold inside that piston cylinder wall there. All right. Flop that mud off the floor there. Boy, that thing's locked up. You know, I'm just going to pull this engine off the rest of the shaft. That way we can take it over to the bench. Well, I don't need to pull the bolt all the way out. I just need to loosen it. Lose a little nut. All right, take the other screw loose. I want to make sure it's not just well, that's stuck inside the clutch drum. Probably rusted into that. Don't hurt the shaft. Golly. Yeah, it is. It's rusted in there pretty good. Strike hold. I tell you, this thing must have been left out during the hurricane a couple weeks ago. It's rusted in there pretty good. Look at it. Ugh. I don't want to pull that shaft all the way out. I need to, though. I need to lubricate that thing. It's dry. Well, let's pull this cover off and just let the clutch drum come off with it. Yep, let's do that. Those are also 3 millimeters. One more right there. Yeah, look at that rust. Yeah, look at that. That is some rusty stuff there. Strike hold. Let it work on this side too. Let that work itself in there. Now we can take it over to the bench. To the bench. Wow. Well, let me hit pause. I'm gonna put some more strike holes on it, let it soak a little more before I go hurting a flywheel or something. Hang with a little longer. We'll get it. We got all day. Alrighty, this thing has been sitting for another hour, and it's still being difficult. Here's the top of the combustion chamber. You see the rust on the sides. I'm not going to try to spin this thing over. The piston's at the very, very bottom. See, there's the intake port right there. I'm not spinning this piston inside of that. Cylinder walls look pretty good. They're not all scored up, but well, since the piston is at the very bottom, I'm going to go ahead and try to pull the cylinder off. If the piston was stuck at the top, I wouldn't, but it's stuck at the very bottom. The way I'm continuing to do that, I'm just working on that piston pin, which is not good. So we are going to pull them two screws out. Yep. Let's see, what do we need? I think a 4 millimeter. 4 millimeter. If I can get this in there. Yes, I can. I don't know if I can get that through there, and I won't be able to. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Number 4. 4 millimeters. Well, I thought that was 4 millimeters. Nope, I got the 4.5 millimeter. Did go down one size. There's a 4 millimeter. I don't know if I can get in there like that. Nope, I have to go like this and get a pair of pliers on it to get that to break loose. There we go. Come out of there, little screw. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and pull this muffler off, might as well. Yeah. Let's see, that's gonna probably be a 3, or is it a 4? Yeah, it is a 4. Let's see what we have. What do we have? What do we have? Well, that screw right there is loose. Huh. Yeah, that is awful nasty in there. I'm going to ever so gently pry down on the top of that piston. Well, after I knocked the camera over, try to save that gasket. Yeah. Yeah, the main bearing, crankshaft bearing is, wow. So it's not necessarily the piston was stuck, it's the bearing. It's the main bearing. It's the main bearings. That's what it is. It's the main bearings in there. Wow. Strike hold. Yeah, that ring is completely stuck. But the biggest concern is these bearings. Ooh, get that finger in there, boy. By golly, they're pretty free now. The wrist pin bearing feels good. If Echo uses them, I don't know, they may not even use roller bearings in there, or roller cage bearing, whatever it is. I'm not pulling that piston off. But that's very loose. We got her loosened up. I'm impressed. Now let's look into this cylinder here. I believe that cylinder will clean up nicely. I believe it will. So we'll clean up that cylinder. We'll clean that piston. Flush out the crankcase. This thing's going to run by the end of the day. I guarantee it. So let's take this cylinder over to the parts washer. Take my favorite little Scotchy Brat pad. Looks like we got us a customer, boy. He's got that big 7.3 liter Ford F-250 or 350. Let me hit pause. Okay. It's coming pretty darn clean. I'm impressed. I'm using this old wore out Scotch-Brite. I wouldn't use a new Scotch-Brite because it'll be too tough on it. But like I said, my biggest concern is the piston ring. Let's walk out here to the door and blow this thing off. Come out here in the sunshine. Yeah, it come pretty good. Pretty good. I'm impressed. Bearings feel a lot looser. I'm sure that clutch will be all right. Okay. Now for the piston. Now for the piston. How do we want to clean that piston? I think I might just stick it in that brass wheel right there. That's gentle. That's gentle. Let me get my face shield. And we will just lightly brush it. Still stuck from here all the way around, but we're gonna see what we can do for it. That come pretty clean too. It did. Yeah, it starts sticking right in here, all the way around that way. That sounds loose. I'm gonna let that shock hold kind of soak into that. A piece of that wire will. That's why you wear a face mask. Clean this gasket. Well, okay. I need to spray that out a little bit. Let's go over here to the trash can with some brake parts cleaner. Get some of that nastiness out of there. Yep. Go over here and give it a puff of air with Angelica's blower. If that camera would quit teetering. Looking pretty clean. Okay. Looks like it might be free now, but I can't really tell just yet. See how this is not sticking out anymore from here to here? It looks like this may have released and just relaxed. I want to see if I can get that ring to move at all. Things on there pretty darn tight. believe it's still kind of stuck. If I can just give it a little pry right there without putting a gouge or anything in the piston. Yeah, I can feel it sticking up a little bit. I believe she may have been released. Yeah, I can feel it moving. That's good. What I'm gonna do now, I'm gonna heat it up. Heat it up. We'll do it over here though, away from the oily mess over there. Put a little heat to it, gently. While we're staying away from that fuel tank. You can see it boiling out right there. Nope, over there, it just released on that side. See how it released again? I'm gonna heat it up, let it cool down, and put some more strike hold on it. Get that flywheel hot. Don't melt the flywheel. Uh-oh. I'll tell you, that's just a perfect timing for money. Yeah. All right, fella. Look. I'm trying to let it release on its own without monkeying with it too much, because you can break these little rings. See, that side is clear. That thing's still pretty warm. But I can feel it. It has released over here, from here to right about here. But from, well, just right in here is where it's still not released completely. I'd let that thing cool off a little bit. I can't mess with it. Not with my fingers hot. Still hot. See, look at it. I can't leave it alone. All right, let me hit pause, guys. We are going to let this thing soak for a little bit. Hang with. Let me let this camera charge. Well, I knew I'd do it. I broke the ring. I couldn't leave it alone. Yeah, I can't mess with it. All I had to do was let it soak overnight, or, you know, but I did it. It ain't the first one I broke, and it ain't gonna be the last one. But that's all right, though. I've had this little engine here in the shed. I've been picking parts off this thing for a couple of years. I'm gonna see if it's the same exact, really same exact cylinder. piston and cylinder. So we're going to see if this one's any good. Let's pull this cylinder off of this one. I did. I broke it. Broke it from there to there. Which is probably a good thing because that sure was corroded. It was corroded. Okay. Let's pull this one off. I did it. How much battery power do I got? Ooh, 77%. That's pretty good. I believe this engine was off another edger also. PE-200. I can't remember what that is. I can't remember if that was a weed eater or an edger. And there's that coil I had to order yesterday for a fella. Forgot I even had that one. That's all right. He gets a new coil. Hey, that's a good looking. That was stuck right there though. Uh-oh. Somebody me. Somebody texted me. What do the text say? Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna pull this whole piston off and replace this piston with that one. If I can get the little clip out of there without hurting it. Come on, little Echo, give up your piston pin clip. Bend it a little bit. Little clip. Little piston clip. Give me a punch. Let's see, let me find the perfect punch. I believe that right there is the perfect punch. All right, Mr. Magnet. My little piston pin. My little piston pin. All right, let's check this one out. Hey, this one looks pretty good. It's sticking right in there. Let's put it on the wire wheel over here, bolt. See if we can get this one cleaned up and use it. Let me get my face shield back on. Here we go. Woo. This one is stuck in the same place that other one was. Yep. Tell you what, if I have to, I'm gonna let this thing soak. I ain't prying on this one with a screwdriver. Let's put a little strike hold on this one. That's what you call product placement right there. Let that soak in there real good. Let that be soaking. I'm going to go ahead and pull this piston off. You've got a marking on these things. See a little arrow pointing? It always points towards the exhaust. This one's got a little dot, so you know it goes like that. Let's see, let's pull this pin off. Lord knows where that little clip went. It took off in a hurry. It's gone now. I don't know how easy this one will be to get out. Being corroded. Pardon me, Mr. Engine. That magnet's got me again. Yeah, let's set this thing way out of the way over here. Way out of the way. I'll lose a little thrust washers. Let's see, get right in there with it. Yeah. Well, that little clip there, I've bent it too. All right, the two little washers. I'll squirt that little bearing right there with a little strike hole lube. Stuck right in there. Stuck right in the intake port. Why do they always seem to stick there? But it's just stuck right in there. All right, Dobie, you know you're fixing to break this one too. I am not taking a chance on hurting this one. So we are going to let this one soak overnight. I don't know how everything is piled up there. Hey, let's go over to the workbench over here. Just stuck right in there. Let it soak overnight, boy. See if I'd hit it. I'm gonna stick this one over here. If we can find somewhere to stick it. Let's see, we'll stick it right there. Yeah. What I did was I took some steel wool. I keep in this drawer right there. Steel wool. It still has some rusty little areas in it, and I had to really get it smooth right in there because this is tapered, and this is what will compress that ring when you put it back on. And I tell you, it just felt rough as a cob. Well, that gasket's destroyed. Yep. All right, let's get away. Let's do away with this. Set this over there with the engine. As a matter of fact, we'll put it back in the shed. Hey, I got me a yo-yo. like somebody's out there burning leaves. All right. All right. I'm gonna let that soak, boys and girls, overnight, and tomorrow we are gonna slap it back together. Let's see if she runs. Hang loose. Alrighty, it is the next morning. Yay! Yeah. Let's see if that ring is loose on this piston. That's a Phillips head. Can't open a paint can with a Phillips head. There we go. Let's see, get all this junk out of the way and stick us back up yonder. Yeah, I can't get it there. Okay, let's see what we have here. Still a little sticky. Let's take some of this brake parts cleaner over to the L trash cano. Clean it off. All right. All right, let's see what we have. What do we have? What do we have? Oh. Still kind of sticky right here and here. But you can see the rest of it is pretty free. Just right in there. Easy. Mostly right in there, right at the intake port. Got it loose there. It's just hanging right there a little bitty bit. Oh, there it goes. Oh, look at there. It's free. Oh, it's free. It's free. It's free. I'm gonna go hit it with some more brake parts cleaner. There's still a little bit of gunk back behind that ring here. It's got a little goop back there. Ooh, that stuff tastes nasty. Oh yeah, she's free. Look at there. Look at there, look at there. Oh, I know if I just let it soak, it'll free up. This thing's gonna run. I said it was gonna run by the end of the day yesterday, but I had to soak this thing overnight, so let's put her back together. Yeah. Mm-hmm. 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 Okay. Let's see, how am I going to do this? Because I got to get them little thrust washers in there right beside that. And all that at the same time. Same time. Well, I took that other wrist pin and I stuck it back in this box. Let's go find it. I'm going to put the, and we'll just use this pin. We'll just use this pin. We'll just use that one. Pretty tight. How much play do we have? We have a little bitty bit. Push it in just a little more to be able to hold on to this little thrust washer. Okay, now make sure you put that little dot towards the muffler. Got one washer on there. Stick it in there like that. Make sure that washer's in there. Now we can slide the other washer in there. Ever so gently. Now we can tip it up. Look down this angle. Find the washer. Slide it over. Stick my eyeball in there and see where it is. We need to go back towards the top of the piston with it a little bit. There we go. Both washers are in. We'll drive the pin down. To right there. Put the wrist pin clip back in it. Put that end in there first. Pull that down, click it in. Make sure it's clicked in. It's clicked in. All right, dot towards the exhaust. Otherwise, this ring will be right in the center of the muffler, and you do not want that. That's why on the intake port, well, it won't go down as far on the intake port. Okay. Okay. I've already got a little oil in there. Don't forget that gasket. I'm glad I looked down and saw that gasket. I would have forgot it. Sure is the world. Make sure everything's clean. All right, it goes like that, then it goes like that. Just like that. This is tapered. It'll just draw it right in. Just make sure that little pin right there is centered. It looks like it. Okay. Slide it down and over. Perfect. Make sure it's lined up with the gasket. Now I got oil over my fingers. We're gonna have a runner. We're gonna have a runner. I need to call that fella that owns this and tell him not to. Hope he ain't bought another one yet. I told him yesterday it wasn't no good. I didn't have anything to do, so I just went ahead and tore this thing apart, see if I can do something with it, just for fun. I need to call him. Maybe he hadn't bought another one yet. Maybe this will run good enough to give back to him. If not, it'll be out there in the shed of shame with everything else. There we go. There it is. Okay. Get the muffler back on it. Get the muffler back on it. I ought to take that spark arrestor out and check it and make sure it ain't clogged up. All right, let me grab my 3 millimeter hex drive. What to do with it? There it is. Is that a 3 or a 4? That's going to be a 4. That's going to be a 4. I'll give him my tool back. Give him my tool back. Okay. There's the muffler. Let's see, what's next? We'll put the coil on there since it's readily available. Let me spray this thing off. Spray that off real good. Yeah. Had a little nastiness on there. Let's see, we'll go that way with it. Get the screws in there. That one and that one. This was 3 millimeter, that's what I was thinking a second ago. Okay, where's my little card? There it is. Just a business card thickness. See how it's got a little picture on there? Ignition air gap card. We'll stick it between the curl and the magnet on the flywheel if I can get it in there. Let the magnet spin around and truck it tight. Just like that. Be very gentle. 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 Okay. Perfect gap. Perfect gap. Okay, what's next? What is next? What is next? Go ahead and put this on there. Just gonna go around there like that. That'll bolt there. We'll get everything put back together. Air filter. There's all the screws. All right, let's go over here where we got more room. Now let's grab this cover and the shaft. I'm not going to worry about that being rusted to that drum. I ain't going to worry about it. Let's put the shaft back on first. I need to get some grease. I need to grease that shaft. Grease that shaft. This is my special shaft greasing bag right here, boy. Ooh, we're gonna be covered head to toe with this stuff. Yeah. Yeah. All the way down to the end. Ooh, what a mess I am making here. Sight of it's a necessary evil. Ew. Well, this thing was dry. Yeah. Man, what a mess. What a mess, but that's what we got to do. What did I do with that shaft? We'll clean it up when we're done. That thing's fixing to hit the floor there. Hang on to it. Look out of the way there, throttle cable. Now we'll just spin the drum till it connects. I got grease on the outside of the clutch drum, but that don't really matter. But it will wipe it off. Good grief, what a mess. We had to twist that drum there, that way the little square part will line up and go into the gearbox up there. Let me clean up, let me hit pause. I gotta clean up some of this mess. Okay. Got the mess cleaned up halfway. Okay, we're going to need 1, 2, 3, 4 screws to hold that on. What did I do with the screws? Let's see, we got them two. We got 2 long ones. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, we got 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, now you just hold still. Oh, hang on to it. Let me grab my socket and get it ready. These are 3mm. Stand this thing up like this, make it easier. The little things in there, the little pegs. Go ahead and get one started. Well, that's the wrong one to start because I got to put this thing on there, but that's all right. Well, just lost my socket. Oh God, now we can lay her over. Lay her over. I can hear the train. Burp. I believe that train conductor does that on purpose because he knows he's in a residential area and he just lays on that horn. I think he hates us. Okay, coil, all that good stuff. Before I put anything else back together, let me lower the camera for you. Lower the camera for you. I guess that'll be all right there. I'm gonna go ahead and put the fuel lines on there. Let me take the cap off and stick my eyeball in there and double check which one is which. That's the, okay, this is the pickup. This is the return. We may end up having to take this carburetor off and clean it, I believe, because I haven't done anything to the carburetor yet. I may replace that bulb too. It's looking kind of old. Okay, we're getting there. What did I do with the starter assembly? Oh, there it is. I blew this out real good and sprayed some lube under there in that spring. You know how these things love to rust and break. Rust and break. It's going to be just like that. Get your tool ready, don't fall overboard. Yeah, kind of popped through my shoulder out thinking it was falling over. I need to put my stand back up over there, the one I used to work on stick equipment. Instead of just landing on this table right here. Go ahead and run this one down. Not tight, but just down like that. Is that cover going to need them two holes? Yep. The two holes in that cover are going to be on the top, so I'll get a couple of these started down here and take that one back out. You can fall over if you want to. It don't make no difference to me. Let's see, we'll take this one back out. Okay, this is going to be the fun part. Find this spark plug boot right back through the, but that don't last. Get this crazy spark plug right through that hole right yonder. Come on, little boot. Get in the hole. I'll tell you, this spark plug wire is so stiff. So crazy stiff. I've never seen such a stiff spark plug wire. Get through the hole, Mr. Boot. Grab my needle nose and help me out a little bit. Just get in there, boy. I don't know why they didn't make that hole a little bit bigger. Okay. Okay. I'm scared to move that camera right there. I just knocked it over again and broke the tripod. Let's go ahead and put a little fuel in it. See if she purges okay before we go any further. Let me just block the view of this big gas can right here. All right, that's plenty. Plenty. There it goes. Yeah, she's purging pretty good. That's a good sign. Finish getting this cover on here. Make sure that little wire is going through the correct spot. Okay. I'll sneak around here and put these 2 screws in that cover. Right through the starter. And the tank vent is in its proper place. I'm going to end up pulling these fuel lines down a little further. I don't want them to kink. Don't want them to kink. Now we'll fight this thing back on. Little grommet. I have to go grab a screwdriver. Nope, it went right back on. Let's grab a spark plug. PE-200. Why? Because we love you. Spray that off a little bit. Okay. I still need to put them Phillips screws in here in the front. There we go. Clicky clicky. Put the throttle cable back on. There we go, we win. All right, grab my Phillips head. Grab Phillips head. Now where my little Phillips head screws go, there they are. You got 2 in the front. One there and one there. All right. Give it a purging. Choke, throttle. Now let's see if she'll run. Ooh, that's them bearings, boy. You can hear them bearings. I think it just seized. But that's what we wanted to do. I just wanted to see it run. Ooh, that don't sound good. Well, all right, boys and girls, that's what we wanted to do right there. We just wanted to see it run one more time. You never know, that thing might last you a long time. Or it could just blow up in the next few minutes. Who knows? Turn this fan over here on. Ooh, all that oil and stuff trying to burn out of there. Well, I appreciate y'all watching another Tom W video. We conquered. I think it cranked about the first pull, didn't it? It hit. Cranked second pull. Well, that was a fun little video. Love you boys and girls. Take care of each other, man. We will catch y'all on the next one. A little Echo PE-200. A little smoking edger. Love y'all.